Hi class, I just wanted to go over the process of reading and processing a Cat W article before you sit down to write a response to it. We'll be using this, which is your assignment to complete for this week. So we'll go through this, I'll read it, then I'll ask you a series of questions that should help you formulate your summary and your argument. All right. So, starting with the title as always, sex segregation is not a cure. Okay. So maybe you already have a sense of what the essay might be about. Maybe the title intrigues you. You have an idea of what it might be about, but you're not sure. But your brain should already be asking questions. It's not a cure for what? What does sex segregation mean? Which scenario are we talking about here? Okay. The educational crisis has led schools to search for ways to improve educational outcomes, particularly for disadvantaged students. Unfortunately, this has led many schools to turn to sex segregation. However, emerging evidence raises serious questions, not only about the legality of separating boys and girls in school, but also about whether it does more harm than good. So, right away, the first paragraph you always want to be paying attention to. Remember that if we were skimming this article, we would read the first paragraph, we would read the first sentence of each paragraph in the middle, and then we'd read the last paragraph. So there's a lot of info you can glean from this. This first paragraph sort of gives us the situation, it gives us the problem that the essay is working with. And it also gives us kind of the question of the essay that the title seems to be a response to. So the title is Sex Segregation is Not a Cure. And the last sentence here is talking about whether sex segregation does more harm than good. Okay, so based on just those two little details, what do you think the author's position is on this issue? Moving on. The arguments in support of sex segregation are scary. For example, some proponents claim that girls perform poorly under stress and therefore shouldn't be given timed tests. Others argue that boys should be allowed to hit things with Nerf baseball bats to relieve tension at school. Most of these programs are based on outdated ideas about the differences between boys and girls' learning styles. Okay. So, you should be thinking about, okay, what's the main idea of this article? Also, as you're reading, you should be looking to highlight anything that could be a supporting detail. So, in what way could this paragraph, or the examples in this paragraph, be used as supporting details for your summary? So remember, your summary would start with the main idea. So basically, this article is about how the author believes blank. In order to support their point of view, the author mentions what and what. What students really need is an education system that understands that all children learn differently, and that is tailored to their individual needs, not their sex. A system that makes crude judgments based only on gender will limit opportunities for all. Whether segregation is based on gender, language, ability, or race, a separate but equal policy is not a price we should be willing to pay for education reform. So that paragraph is a paragraph where the author is making their opinion plainly known. There's a lot of language there that indicates clearly where the author falls, and that gives several reasons. Lastly, When it comes to our kids' education, stick to what works, like smaller class sizes, more teacher training, and greater attention to curriculum. Coeducation is not the problem with our schools, and sex segregation is not the cure. Okay. So, between the title and the language in this article, it would seem that we might be able to easily glean what the main point is. But we want to make sure. So, these are questions you should always be asking yourself. What is the main problem of the essay? So again, looking at this first paragraph. What does the author feel about this problem? What solutions does the author think will work? And what solutions does the author think will be problematic? And obviously this article is pretty short. So when you go to create your thesis and when you go to write your argument, there's a lot of space for you to fill in what's missing here. So when you're creating your thesis, do you understand what the problem is that the author is talking about? Do you agree that it's a problem? Do you agree with the author that sex segregation is not a cure? Or do you believe differently? If you believe differently, why do you believe differently? Do you agree with the author that this is a problem, or that there are problems in education, but think that there could be a different solution? Are there problems when boys and girls are at school together, or are there more problems when boys and girls are not at school together? All these questions should help you formulate your opinion. Remember, when you are writing your response, that you have to bring in evidence from your own experience, and that you should be bringing in your own ideas to add to this argument. So, I'll leave you with that. Please review the essay template and format, and let me know as you have any questions.